Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. You're watching Ayana CTV, and I'm going to bring you guys a video that I could have really benefited from this time last year, and that's a video on transferring schools. So I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on certain tips that I think would be helpful and that I could have used when I was going through this process, and it could go a lot more smoothly than it did for me because it was not an easy process. But I think these tips will really help in making your process easier if you're going through the same thing. So I transferred from a community college back in New York where I live to Howard University. Now these tips can go specifically for Howard University, or they can pretty much apply to no matter where you transfer to. The process is pretty similar. So tip number one would be to evaluate your credits. As you're taking certain courses, if you know you're going to transfer, you want to take courses that you know will transfer to the school where you want to attend. Courses like certain general education courses and things like that are more likely to transfer because they're more standard within certain curriculums, and they'll have a higher chance of getting transferred in. Now you want to make sure the courses you take have a similar course at the school where you're transferring to. So what you want to do, if possible, is look at the course descriptions from the school you want to transfer from to the school you want to transfer to, and make sure that they have classes that line up. That way when you go to transfer, they'll be more likely to accept the courses that you've taken. I know a lot of the courses that I took didn't transfer over. For example, I took 2 ASL courses, American Sign Language, and Howard University doesn't offer American Sign Language, so those 2 classes just didn't get transferred. They kind of got lost in the wind when I transferred, which is okay because I'm still able to catch up. But you want to take classes that you know are going to transfer. So a lot of the time people like to take their general education courses. Now depending on where you go, they're called something different. Where I transferred from, they're called appendixes, and where I transferred to Howard University, they're called divisionals. So I took all of my general education courses before I transferred. They didn't all transfer, but for the most part they did. So I only had to take a few general education courses or divisionals when I got here. But you want to make sure they transfer. So like your freshman writing classes, your math classes, which Howard in particular is really picky when it comes to math. But getting like a college algebra or something shouldn't be an issue getting transferred. I personally got a statistics course transferred. A lot of people say that they were having trouble getting their statistics courses transferred, but I didn't have any issue. That was one of the courses that they transferred right away, so I didn't even have to fight for that class. But if they do try to tell you that they can't take a class, you can fight for it, but I'll go into that in the next video. So you want to definitely evaluate the courses that you're taking to make sure that you're taking classes that will transfer, so you're not getting pushed further and further back from graduating on time. The second tip I have would be to apply as early as possible. I didn't really have the choice of applying early because I didn't really know what I wanted to do for sure until my last semester at community college, which was spring of 2017. So this time last year, I officially decided what I wanted to do, so I was able to apply specifically for that major. My major is media journalism and film communications in the School of Communications at Howard, and I have a concentration in TV and film, and my minor is Afro-American Studies. So now that I know that, that's great, but had I known that before, I'd been able to apply a little bit earlier. And the reason why that's beneficial to apply earlier is because you have a lot that you need to do. You may need to get housing in order. You may need to relocate, decide if a certain school may be a better option for you and things like that. There's so many things that go into transferring, so you want to make sure that you're able to get everything in order as quickly as possible. The longer that process takes, the longer or the more difficult it will be for you in the end. So you want to make sure you're applying as early as possible so that you're getting your answer as early as possible so you can start getting things together in order for you to transfer. Next tip similar to that would be to press them for your response. Now, at Howard in particular, they have a habit of kind of taking a long time to get back to people in terms of the application process. Me personally, they didn't take a long time getting back to me. I applied this time last year, and I got my acceptance on June 8th, I believe. So I got my response fairly quickly, but I know of people who were waiting forever to hear a response back from the school. So wherever you're going, if they're taking a while to get back to you, you want to kind of push them a little bit to give you a response. You might want to call the admissions office and see where your application is in the process and try to find out when you'll get that type of information, because they understand that you have things that you need to do and plan for. So trying to get your application response as soon as possible is key. The next tip that I have would be to visit if possible. Now, I live in New York and Howard is in Washington, D.C., so it's about a 4.5 hour drive, which is not bad. A lot of people can't do that. So I was able to visit the school, and it was really, really beneficial for me to come down here with my parents and get everything done, because Howard is not the best at answering the phones. A lot of schools may be the same way with not answering the phone because, I mean, it is the summertime right now, so not all the faculty are on campus. And then during the year, a lot of the faculty are, busy with things that go on during the school year. So regardless of the time of year, you may not get an answer on the phone. So you want to come down and be face-to-face with people. That way they can get to know you a little bit, get to know your story. They'll have that, connection and be more inclined to help you, because you're sitting right in front of them and they see how much you need help with certain things. So you want to come down to whatever school you're applying to if possible and get things done. When I came down, like I said, I got accepted June 8th last year. I was here the following Monday. So that was a Thursday. The following Monday, I was here on campus with my parents. We took a tour. We went to financial aid. We went to see an advisor. We got a lot of things done that day that we would have never gotten done had we not come down here and visited, because nobody was answering the phones. So you want to be able to have FaceTime with people that you need to speak to and get on campus as soon as possible, if possible. The next tip that I have would be to look for outside scholarships. I know for me personally, this was something that I wish I had done more of, and it kind of sucks because a lot of schools don't have good scholarships for transfer students. You have students who have come in as first time in college students, came in as freshmen, who have these huge scholarships that are renewable for every year that they're in school, and you transfer in and they don't offer you anything. And it sucks because a lot of us work really hard to get into the school that we want to go to and to transfer to, and then end up not getting any money from them and no assistance. So what you want to do is look for outside scholarship as soon as possible. Howard had a really great transfer scholarship at one point, but it no longer exists. So you really have to fight for money for yourself, honestly, because a lot of schools, they may not just give it to you. And going off of that, another thing you want to do is to submit your FAFSA as soon as possible. So your financial aid, you want to go to the FAFSA website and get that in as soon as possible, because there are students who have been in school and have submitted their FAFSA. I think, what was it, January 1st we were able to? No, it was earlier than that. I don't remember. But whenever we were able to submit our FAFSA, we have. And now there, all these financial aid packages need to be reviewed and accepted and things like that. So say there's 8,000 students that have already submitted theirs, yours is going on the end of the line. And you may need that information to apply for certain scholarships and to plan for how you're going to pay for the remainder of your tuition if necessary. So you want to get your financial aid in as soon as possible as well. So the next tip would be to get any holds on your account cleared as soon as possible. Because, like I said, same thing with financial aid. There are thousands of students who, just like there are thousands of students who got their financial aid in already, there are thousands of students who have registered for the classes they need already. And you in particular need these classes because some of your classes may not have transferred, or you may have prerequisites that you need to take in order to get further along in your major or something like that. And you want to get these classes in, that way you're not getting pushed further and further back from graduating on time. Because there are certain classes you have to take this one, then this one, then this one. That may happen all the way up until your senior year, your very last class you took. You have to take, which happened to me. My very last class goes all the way back to a freshman course with the prerequisites. So I had to really fight and try and work things out so that I can take certain classes and graduate on time. So you want to make sure that you're registering for classes and getting any holds removed so that you can do that. And if you're just now coming into a school, you may not have any financial holds. I doubt you'll have any financial holds. But any medical holds, get that information to them as soon as possible. So like I said, they're not very fast at doing certain things. So you want to get that information to them as soon as possible so they can do what they need to do and you can do what you need to do. And the last tip for this video would be to check your courses with your advisor. So this is more so once you've been accepted and you're trying to make your schedule. sit down with your advisor if possible and look at your scheme, look at the courses you've taken, look at the courses you transferred in, look at the courses you will need to take, and see to it that you're taking classes in a specific order that it will have you graduating on time. Like I said, prerequisites, things like that, it'll have you falling behind. So you want to take the classes in the most efficient way to get you to graduate as soon as possible, because the last thing you want is to be put back because you didn't realize you needed to take this before you took this, but now you have to drop one class to take another, things like that. It happens all the time. So try and sit down with your advisor and get that stuff cleared up so that you don't have that issue and you can graduate in the time that you intended to. So that was the last tip for this particular video. The next video will be more so on the process once you're already in the school. So I'll have some more tips on that. You can look forward to that. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more from my channel, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. And thanks for watching.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.